And another point here, Bruce Lebsack's report, page 13,312, backing up Ashley Pimley, who stated that Stephanie Lesback's dad saw that green minivan with a bunch of trenchcoat mafia members around it. So on 13,312 is the dad here, his observation. He witnessed 6 or 7 black-clad males behind a green minivan at 8 o'clock. It was parked on the south side of West Polk Avenue at the corner of South Pierce Street. And this document is actually missing from the reports published here. Huh. Weird. And now referencing Barbara Karnakus's report, document 7523, at about 7:30 a.m., she saw a group of 5 to 6 males standing at the corner of Pierce and First south of the street. They are dressed in black. One looked older, mid-20s, with short blonde hair. 2 of them sitting in a large backpack. So it seems like a lot of individuals saw this random group of trenchcoat mafia type individuals. Some commenters here, I used to think it was strange how Karakusis was the only one who reported this group, when there were likely a number of cars in the area. However, Thomas, 13,571, and Lebsack's reports give it more credibility. Also, a report by Tammy Solano Gonzalez states that she saw Klebold and 3 other males looking into the trunk of a small tan car at 7:45 a.m., page 13,206. While the location is given Columbine and Pierce, she later stated it was Polk and Pierce. And this tan car also matches those other testimonies about a tan car following a black BMW. It seems like all these witnesses who witnessed these vehicles with trenchcoat mafia type members, and possibly Eric and Dylan, there's a lot here. This is not 1 or 2 people that could have been mistaken. So you have 4 adults, 2 of them parents, who all saw large groups of black-clad white teenagers right next to the school on the morning of the shooting. Yet another important piece in the puzzle that was discounted by police. Also, Kelly Hendricks, page 847, at 11:10 a.m., he saw 2 individuals in trench coats exiting a small car in the parking lot. Huh. Okay, here's a curiosity. The Real Columbine, May 14th, 2000, KMGH broadcast. At 3:48 in the broadcast, so this is at 3 minutes 48 seconds, a reporter stated, "We've just had a very interesting twist. Police just came out and told us that a carload of people left Columbine High School and was followed by a carload of people that apparently possibly had some weapons." Couple more curiosities here. 6:15 a.m., Justin Kem saw Klebold talking to Dykeman at the AMF bowling alley by Federal and Bellevue. Document 6710. And Justin Kem's report's also curious. Regarding his interview, May 24th, I asked Justin if he could tell me where he had been during his 5th hour class on the day of the shooting. Justin stated that he ditched his classes after first hour and was never at school that day. I asked Justin what class he had been in his first hour. Justin stated he had been in his bowling class at the AMF bowling alley at Federal and Bellevue. The class started at 6:15 a.m. I asked Justin if he knew Harris or Klebold, and he stated that when he got to class, he saw Dylan talking to Nate Dykeman near the front doors, but didn't remember seeing him after about 7 or 7:10 a.m. I asked Justin if he saw Eric. He stated no. So this is a guy who just ditched his class. Now, again, if he ditches his classes regularly, but if this is one of the only times he ditched his classes, that would be more curious. 7:05 p.m., Trenchcoat Mafia associate Frank Zerger notices Harris bending over the trunk of his car in the parking lot. He appears to be with another male, described as a tall, slender, black pants, black waist-length jacket, page 7413. Why would Zerger report this? And of course, Zerger's tale that at 11:10 a.m. he left campus for lunch, another coincidence, went to Brian Sargent's car, which was parked in his space in the senior lot. Arriving at 11:15 a.m., he, Sargent, and Nicole Dickey drove to the Burger King near the Cooper 7 Theater. And of course, there's some problems verifying that tale. At 7:15 a.m., Abigail Bowles sees Harris in the cafeteria with an unknown male. Page 6160. Then, of course, 7:20 a.m., Sarah Roseberry observed 3 camouflage-clad males, Upper North Hall, page 4210. 7:30, while driving near Bellevue, Sherilyn McLean sees a male in a trench coat and wraparound sunglasses. Document 13,344. Between 7:30 and 8 a.m., a large group of black-clad high school-aged males spotted on the corner of South Pierce and West Polk. They are clustered around various vehicles, and at least 2 of them are wearing trench coats. Several are sitting on large, dark-colored backpacks. Document 7523, 9834, 13,206, 13,312, 13,571. 9 a.m., a witness sees a weird, suspicious student using one of the school's payphones. He is wearing black sunglasses, a long black coat, and a black backpack. She picks him out of a photo lineup. 2723. 9:35 a.m., local resident Meg Beck sees a black-clad teenager sitting under a tree near Columbine. He is wearing a trench coat and appears to be a lookout. Page 13,015. Wow, this is all adding up quite crazily. I mean, this is just madness. 10:40 a.m., about a block from the school, a construction worker sees 4 teenagers in a black BMW, closely followed by a tan sedan holding 2 more. He later identifies the BMW as Klebold's. Rocky Mountain News, April 23rd, 1999. 11 a.m., Lucas Milne observes Robert Perry talking to some friends in the cafeteria. Document 5623. 11:10 a.m., a parent sees Klebold drive his black BMW into the parking lot with a passenger. 7533. Kelly Hendricks notices 2 individuals in trench coats exiting a small car in the parking lot. Page 847. Candace Cushman sees 2 males in trench coats sitting near the faculty lounge. Document 2795. Wow. Seeing this timeline all laid out like this is just bizarre. 11:10 to 11:15, Harris Klebold and a 3rd unfamiliar man are seen entering the cafeteria. The man is wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans and is later identified by one witness as an associate of Mark Maines. Documents 829 to 834 and then 1159 to 1160. Jennifer Small sees one of Klebold's friends come in through the main entrance with a heavy black duffel bag. He is wearing a black trench coat and camouflage pants. Document 2185. 11:15 a.m. Also, Patrick Vassar sees 4 or 5 black-clad individuals walking away from the main entrance. They are all wearing trench coats except for one who is wearing camouflage pants. Page 4691. Jason Brem notices a round-faced male in a trench coat leaning against a tree by the upper west entrance with a black nylon bag at his feet. Document 719. 11:20 a.m. A witness sees Harris and another male in a trench coat walking near their equipment building. The other male is described as big and fat with dark hair. Document 1167 to 1168. 4 or 5 individuals in black trench coats are seen walking toward the cafeteria. Document 1194. Adam Campbell sees Harris in the parking lot with 2 or 3 other males. Document 732. Right before the shooting, Elisa Owen witnesses a heavy-set male in the parking lot. He is wearing a trench coat and camouflage pants. Document 3982. Stephanie Wagner hears an explosion and sees Harris talking to Brooks Brown at the top of the stairs. Brown goes down the steps and Harris shoots into the main entrance. Document 1255. This seems to happen almost at once. So did Brown actually see him shooting as he left? And is that what he's hiding, not actual involvement? After the first shots, Nancy Lindsay notices a male in blue jeans walking toward the school with a duffel bag. She makes eye contact with him and he smiles at her. Document 979 to 980. I mean, that is bizarre. I mean, this is just things that don't add up here. So a couple of more bizarre oddities here. in the previous days. April 10th, during lunchtime, Mark Taylor sees Harris, Klebold, and 6 of their friends goose-stepping into the cafeteria with army bags. CRTF, November 6, 2000. 2 witnesses see Joseph Stair walking away from the school in trenchcoat garb. Document 761 to 762 and also 5707. April 11th, a passerby sees 6 or 7 boys testing an explosive at Harriman Lake Park. Quincy and Kipling. At least 2 of them are wearing camo. Within 60 seconds of the explosions, the boys and their setup are gone. The same group is later seen talking about detonating something at the school, document 13,517. April 13th, after school, a woman notices several males wearing black trench coats or dusters in the area of the building. She also sees a black BMW in the park's lot, document 13,536. April 17, on prom night, a parent allegedly witnesses 2 black-clad individuals running back and forth between the gym and the back of the school, document 7015. We went over that earlier. April 18th, on Sunday afternoon, Michael Webb and his mother see a male in a black trench coat or duster walking away from the school. His coat is weighted down and he appears to be concealing a heavy object. This is April 18th, just 2 days prior. Document 9016 and 13,623. April 19th, 10:30 a.m., 2 students observe Harris and another black-clad male walking away from the area of the diversionary bombs. Harris warns one away from the area. According to these witnesses, the other male is too short to be Klebold. Page 14,970 to 14,975. At 3:25 p.m., teaching interviewee Barbara Larson passes a large group of students on her way in. At least 2 of them are wearing black dusters. She hears them say, "We got it all set up for tomorrow. When do we detonate?" 13,300. This is the day before 3:25 p.m. Very curious. I mean, all of this is just beyond curious. Now, Dave Searle's account is really curious. Page 19,977 and 13,517. Passerby Dave Searle stated that the boys at the park had plywood shielding. So this is April 11th. Had plywood shielding barriers to protect themselves. As he passed by, 4 of the boys stood in front of the barriers so as to hide them from view. All of the boys also turned around to hide their identities, with the exception of one who had punkish, bleached blonde hair and dark eyebrows. Additionally, Searles noted that all of the boys were tall. Again, just all of these Trenchcoat Mafia members happen to be very tall, except for Brian Sargent. And even Eric Harris. Also, a little bit more expanding. Barbara Larson saw 5 to 8 kids huddling near the main entrance. Most of the boys in the group were tall, and one of them had white, punked-out hair and black eyebrows. Again, this matches Dave Searle's description. Again, she heard them discussing the detonation of something on April 20th. As she walked by, they shushed each other, with one of them saying, "She didn't hear me," and another saying, "Oh, she's just a visitor." I mean, I don't know what to make of this. This is all beyond bizarre. Just absolutely beyond bizarre. So believe it or not, we are making a dent, but we're still close to the tip of the iceberg when it comes to examining the anomalies in the Columbine case. Nothing is seemingly matching the narrative on the Idiot Box. The so-called official narrative of today does not match any of the reports at the time. Why is that? I will leave the MINDSHOCK listeners to answer that. Leave your own comments, questions, theories, debunkings in the comment section. If you want to support MINDSHOCK, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, quote podcast to request. You can also be a guest in the podcast depending on your tier. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.